All right. Welcome back. It's time for Science Fiction Sunday. I hope you're having a wonderful week, that everything's going great for you. It's the 4th of July as I record this and put it out. For today's book talk, I'm looking at books 2 and 3 in the Red Rising trilogy. Oh, they're so good. I highly recommend them. If you are at all a fan of science fiction, I feel like this is some of the best science fiction that has been put out there. I already did a video about book 1 in the series, Red Rising. If you at all are having doubts about reading it, then let me reassure you, book 1 is worth the read, even if you are hesitant. You should read book 1 because it allows you to read books 2 and 3. Each book just gets better and better in this trilogy. It's absolutely amazing how the author, Pierce Brown, put them together. I do spoiler-free reviews, just one of the reasons that I'm talking about book 2 and 3 together, to make that kind of discussion easier. So you don't have to worry about spoilers here. I will try and talk about the concepts, ideas, themes, and characters more generally. So this science fiction series is really about different classes of people in the future, and Pierce Brown uses a color coding system in society to express that, to where Darrow started out as a red, but he was carved with plastic surgery, physical surgeries, all kinds of stuff, and his body was remade into a gold, which is the upper elite of society, the ruling class. And really, he is a spy working for this anonymous, mysterious person called Ares. And the idea is that the sons of Ares are trying to spark a revolution, allow the lower classes to rise up and dismantle society. And the role that Darrow has to play in that, in the first book, was trying to infiltrate gold society, get himself into a position of power where he could actually do something. And the book ended on what seemed to be a positive note, but at the beginning of book 2, there is some devastation that is wrought and brought down to where Darrow thought he had accomplished so much, but because they used an identity for him as a spy, as someone from a family that's far out in the middle of nowhere and wasn't part of all the politics and all of that, he was still seen as an outsider, still seen as someone who was easy to prey upon. But he made a lot of allies and friends in book 1, and that really comes into play in book 2. He's got his romantic interest, Mustang, from book 1, that he's still not sure if she really loves him. And of course, there's the great complication that when you're a spy, when you're a secret agent, that the person who falls in love with you might just be in love with the secret identity, the really fake version of you, and not the real you. So poor Darrow, as the main character, he has all these doubts, and he's struggling with so much within himself, in addition to trying to be a part of this revolution. There are some great reveals, some great turns and twists in this story, which Pierce Brown is great at. Sometimes it's a strategic twist. There are some times where, even though the narration follows Darrow's point of view, the author hides some things from us as readers, and so we get surprised. We didn't know he had a special plan with extra tactics and strategies and people set up or prepared to do something. It happened in the first book, it happens again in the second book, and then in the third book, with the ultimate climax, I felt like the secret ploy was a little more obvious, but it was still enjoyable to read. It's just by that point, as a reader, you've gotten used to Darrow having these secret plans of strategy. So when things start going down, you as a reader have been trained to go, well, is it possible that Darrow thought about this ahead of time, predicted some things, and set something up, which is what he's great at. This series features a lot of space battles, a lot of really ingenious ways that different factions are posed against each other, and throughout the series of the 3 books, those characters, members of the factions, and the factions themselves continue to realign, and a lot of it's based on people being really power hungry, but but Darrow understanding their personality. And don't get me wrong, Darrow doesn't win all the time. In fact, this series very much follows the traditional plot setup of a science fiction trilogy, so that the first book seemed like it could be a happy ending. The second book has more devastation and failings and doesn't really end on a happy note. And then the third book has some amazing high points and twists that bring it all together. I challenge you to read the books. See if you can figure out what's going on in Darrow's head. The space battles are just so phenomenal, and I don't use that word lightly. Often shooting people out into space. People like missiles in special tech armor suits to assault other spaceships. It's amazing. Highly recommend the books in the Red Rising series. Did I even say what they're called? Book 2 is Golden Sun, and Book 3 is Morning Star. There's another trilogy after this trilogy. That's it for today's book talk. Every day is a good day for a book talk. Peace.